what's up, Fizzle? You are first. You're always first. Nah, we're not doing task lists today. Are you serious? You want to do co-working? I mean, maybe. That's funny. You need the task list. You got it. I made coffee. I also have a burrito. We already one cup of tea. Oh my god. Wow. Interesting. I'm not chewing the mic.
I like the way you kiss me. I can tell you miss it. I can tell it is.
We've got some disturbing shit to watch today. Only because my YouTube algorithm is keep chewing. Shut up! Only because my YouTube algorithm keeps feeding me this shit. So I'm like, you know what? It's very interesting. I should give it a try, huh? No, don't dip out. Stop. Don't bring that energy here. You can't focus with that? I like this music. I'm wait. Some retro shit? What? What are you talking about? You're all good for your appointment tomorrow? Great. You're in the clear? Great. I mean, we still got to do the money order. We still got stuff to do. So as soon as you get out of work, let me know. Later in the day? Oh, okay. Hiding my face because I don't want people to see me eat. Is today Thursday? I feel like I'm forgetting something. I'm definitely forgetting something. And I can't remember what it could be. Sorry, I'm not talking because I'm literally chewing my burrito. Ah. Bro, I'm just starting. Take a chill pill.
I guess I'll get on a plane, fly to your city. Excited to see your
Okay.
face, hold me, console me, and then I'll
Why
leave
doesn't the
without a
Spotify? Oh.
trace. Come on, don't leave me. It can't be that easy, babe. If you believe me, I guess I'll
Myth, what's up? Okay. I don't know. Which one should we pick today? This one seems interesting.
Will you show us how you had your hands?
I had him up like this
You tell us why you had your hands up close to your neck?
because I saw what he did to Katie, and I was
I'm glad you're
scared
doing pretty good,
he was
man.
gonna do me.
We're gonna watch some disturbing
This
shit
is
today.
10-year-old Crystal Searles, one of the only living survivors of serial killer Tommy Lynn Sells. In the footage you see here, the killer himself explains in detail what happened inside the Harris family house.
I walked over here.
Doomer boomers.
I came over here, and there's a little girl sleeping here. And then I looked in here, 2 girls sleeping in here. I woke this girl up. The little girl on top was like petrified.
But when Sells left the house that night, there was one thing he never thought would happen.
What is your emergency?
I have a little girl just rang my doorbell.
It was like dead man tell no tale, and I thought I killed her.
Crystal Searles. She was just 10 years old when she came face to face with death. But she survived, outsmarting her killer. It was her courage that got Tommy Lynn Sells arrested and brought to trial, finally putting an end to his 20-year-long rampage.
I felt like he couldn't conquer me. He was gonna be in that trial room because of me.
The year is 1999. The coming of the new millennium is exciting for everyone, especially for Crystal Searles. She's moving to the quiet town of Del Rio, Texas, with her mother Pam and her 2 younger sisters, Mark and Amber. For Crystal, this means she will get to live right next door to her best friend, Kate. It's December 30th. While the rest of the family is away, finalizing the move, Crystal is spending New Year's Eve at her best friend's house for a sleepover.
We talked about Britney Spears and NSYNC. We kind of stayed up a little later, and we got in a little fight about where we were all gonna sleep.
But what started as a night of fun and laughter later turns into a living nightmare. At around 3:30 a.m., a man is awoken abruptly by an intense knocking at his door. He opens to the sight of 10-year-old Crystal covered in blood, begging him for help. Right away, the man calls 911.
I have a little girl just rang my doorbell.
But Crystal can't speak. She's holding a hand to her neck. With shaking hands, she writes the following messages, stating that the Harris family needs help, asking them to hurry. More than 700 miles away, at 6 a.m., Crystal's mother is woken up by a disturbing phone call.
It was Valverde emergency room asking me for my permission to lifeline Crystal. She had been attacked. And I said, absolutely, lifeline, or where? And they said San Antonio. I didn't know anything other than Crystal had had her throat cut.
As Crystal's mother, Pam, rushes to her daughter's side,
Holy
she has
shit,
no
that's
idea in what
crazy.
state she's going to find her. At the hospital, she learns that Crystal's windpipes were severed, that her vocal cords were cut.
When I got in her room, I saw this little girl with all of these tubes. She looked like this baby in this humongous bed. And I looked her in her eyes and I said, "Are you okay, Angel? Mommy's here."
Unable to speak, Crystal uses a pen and paper to communicate. The first thing she asks is if her best friend Kate is okay.
She kept asking me, and I couldn't tell her.
Oh
I couldn't tell her anything.
Crystal's mother can't bear to break the news to Crystal that her best friend Kate is dead, and that Crystal is the only living witness that knows what happened.
When I walked into the crime scene, on the floor was a deceased young girl. The crime scene was extremely bloody.
Shocked by the gruesome nature of the crime, Texas Ranger John Allen still has no idea what he's about to face. He's told that there's a surviving 10-year-old and that she's ready to talk.
We told Crystal who we were, and at that point in time, I assured Crystal that we are going to arrest the person or persons who did this to her. And at that point in time, I was hoping I could back that up.
From her hospital bed, Crystal does her best to write a description of Katie's killer, A police artist makes a sketch from this description. Right away, the sketch, as well as Crystal's details, ring a bell to a friend of the family who saw a man named Tommy working as a used car salesman fitting that description perfectly. Police get their hands on the individual's picture and present a photo lineup to Crystal.
And I explained to Crystal, I told Crystal, we have a photo lineup. And if you see the man...
That's what I'm saying,
that,
like a kid,
was in that
it's all
residence
depending on a
that
kid.
did this to y'all, please put your finger on it. You could see her eyes moving from one individual photograph to the next and focused in on one photograph. And Crystal took her right index finger and put it on the photograph of Tommy Lynn Sells.
Yeah.
Texas Ranger John Allen makes Tommy Lynn Sells his primary suspect, but nothing can prepare him for who Tommy Lynn Sells really is. It's January 2nd. Police move in on Tommy Lynn Sells' trailer. While the door is unlocked, Texas Ranger John Allen walks in and is met halfway by the suspect. He makes his arrest without any resistance. In fact, Sells even tells John Allen,
I'm glad I finally got caught. And then we told him he was under arrest for murder.
Confessions are
glad
immediately
that he
obtained
got
from him,
arrested?
as well as his agreement to do a walkthrough of the crime scene.
This guy's nuts.
Walk through your own free will? Oh, yes.
I thought this to be very odd. Here this guy is under arrest for murder and attempted murder, and his wanted to cooperate with us.
I walked over here. Woke this girl up, and she jumped up and told this girl to go get her mom. I stabbed her here, and then she like jumped back, and then I.
The way Sells describes matter-of-factly what he did to Kate and Crystal brings shivers down everybody's spine. But the odd behavior of Sells doesn't end there. Back at the police station, he continues to give unprompted details of other crimes he's committed over the years.
I sat in that interrogation room for hours, listening to Tommy Lynn Sells talking about the people he killed, the men he killed, the women he killed, the children he killed.
This is 2 females, and it happened in 91, close to Cabin Creek.
We have confirmed that he has committed 22 total murders.
That's when I realized we were dealing with a serial killer, a cold-blooded serial
And he
killer.
never got caught.
So how did a serial killer, who for the last 20 years managed to escape police, get put behind bars because of a 10-year-old girl? As Crystal slowly recovers from her neck injury, she regains the ability to talk and can finally share her side of the story. It's December 31st, 3 a.m. Crystal is fast asleep after a night of laughter with Kate.
We went to bed kind of late, but I remember I woke up to like a scream.
She notices that the light is on. Laying silent at the top of a bunk bed, she looks around, confused.
I could see at the end of the bed, this scary guy. He had scruffy hair, long, dark, curly hair, and a big, scary, long, bushy beard that just took over his whole face, and then his eyes were just dark and mean.
The man doesn't notice that Crystal is awake, but she can see the man is holding Kate and that he has a knife.
He had a hand on her mouth and the knife on her neck, and she's looking at me.
Kate then screams out to Crystal to go get her mom. At that moment, the man drives his knife across Kate's neck, dropping her to the floor. He then moves in and stabs her again and again.
I heard Katie at the bottom of the bed on the floor. She was like gasping for air and choking. She couldn't breathe.
Crystal is horrified, but she's quiet, careful not to make a sound. She wants to help her friend, but if she moves, the man will kill her. After a moment, the man walks out of the room.
About to shut off the light, and he looked one last time, and he noticed that I was there.
Tommy Lynn Sells has already made a victim. He doesn't hesitate when he sees that frightened girl on the top bunk. He closes the door and walks back to her side.
I was trying to scoot to the right side of the bed because he was on the left. He just reached over and cut my throat like this.
Without hesitation, Crystal drops to the floor and plays dead. She's praying that the man won't come back and check if she's alive, like he did with Kate. She has to stay absolutely still.
I just remember laying there and the light turning off and I heard the door shut. So I got on my hands and knees and I was crawling across the floor in the bedroom and I came across Katie. She was kind of making a gasping noise, or maybe she was choking. But then I was trying to comfort her. I laid next to her rubbing her back, and that's when I realized I couldn't talk, because all I wanted to say was everything's gonna be okay, everything's gonna be okay, but I couldn't.
Then, Kate goes quiet. With her friend dying in her arms, Crystal realizes she could be next.
I had this feeling, get out of here, get up, come on, go. I was laying there thinking, has he been to the other rooms? Does he know that the whole family's here? Is everybody hurt? Are they all dead?
Crystal decides to head outside to find help at the closest house. Before she opens the door, she hears a car drive off. There's no way to be sure it's the man who killed Kate, but she has to take the risk.
It was dark outside. I was in my pajamas, no shoes, nothing. I saw a light in the distance. I was like, that's my goal. That's where I need to be.
That's insane.
I just got on the road and walked really slow.
Like, just the pure will to live.
Really, all I could think about was, just get to this house, just get to this house, just get to this house. And I just banged on their door, and I hear a gentleman, he's like, who's there, who's there? And I can't talk, so I'm just banging as hard as I can on the door.
I have a little girl just rang my doorbell.
Crystal is begging the man to tell the operator that the Harris family needs help, but all she can do is write while holding a hand to her throat. She writes for them to hurry, that her neck needs help. And to the man she writes, "Will I live?" January 2nd, Crystal is at the hospital, relieved that Tommy Lynn Sells is behind bars. But her nightmare isn't over yet. In less than 9 months, she will have to face him in court, because her testimony is crucial to the case, to make sure Tommy Lynn Sells never hurts anyone else ever again. And she's terrified of what might happen. Will she be able to go through with her testimony? If she fails, he might be released. And who knows what Sells will do when he sees her in the courtroom. Like in the case of Mary Stauffer, who was kidnapped by her stalker, he attacked her with a knife in court and left a mark on her face. In the weeks before the trial, the television show America's Most
During
Wanted
court?
covers
What?
Kate and
Did
Crystal's
these police
story,
people just,
and
like,
they arranged for
forget
Crystal to
they
meet
have
with
a
another
criminal?
team who went through something very similar.
And he strangled me. He slit both my wrists. You can barely see them, thank God, they're going away. And then he slit my throat.
Christy Reed had survived a brutal attack in 1999 when she got home from school. The brave young 14-year-old then stood in court to face the man who also killed her 16-year-old sister.
I asked for him not to be in the courtroom, but they couldn't do it unless he said something bad or, looked at me weird.
Yeah, I'm way scared because he's gonna be sitting right there.
During the encounter, Crystal notices the little gold ring that Christy is wearing. It was this ring that gave Christy strength when she testified in court, as a reminder of her sister.
Do you have any tips or anything
Your friend's name was Katie?
Yeah.
Concentrate on her, because you're helping her and yourself. It's scary, but once you get it out, you feel a lot better.
It's September 12th, 9 months after the attack. The trial begins for Tommy Lynn Sells.
Let me have the defendant rise and face the jury and all that.
The day I had to testify, I said, Mom, don't cry. Please don't cry. If I see you in the crowd bawling, you're gonna distract me. You're gonna make me upset.
11-year-old Crystal Searles was going to be the key witness, the star witness for the prosecution. She had never seen Tommy Lynn Sells since the night that he came to that house and slashed her throat. And she didn't know how she was going to react.
The jury is presented
I don't know
with
how,
extremely emotional
if you're a
testimony,
mother,
while Tommy
how
Lynn
would you
Sells
react being in the
remains
same room as
indifferent.
your daughter's?
What I was told was an intruder entered the premises and my daughter was gone.
They discovered that it was my own daughter who was in the house. I just cried and cried.
Soon, it will be Crystal's turn to tell the jury what she went through, with Sells just a few feet away from her. Moments before she has to go to the courtroom, a surprise is delivered directly to Crystal to help her through her last struggle.
And I am to tell you that this is to help guide you, okay?
Come on.
Mom! They didn't. They
Oh my
In Inside,
so much.
she finds the cross ring that Christy was wearing, the same ring she wore in court.
As you face this journey from the moment you begin, know that God will guide you, and you'll have the strength to win. And then when they called me down, I was like, I'm ready, I'm ready. They said, do you want to walk by him? You could either walk by him or just walk through this door and get on the stand. And I said, I want to walk by him. I'm not scared of him.
Wow, that's brave for a 10-year-old.
Were you ever awakened during the night?
Yes.
What was it that awakened you?
Katie's voice saying help. His hand was over her mouth.
Whose hand was over her mouth?
His hand.
The man with the blue jacket and the glasses?
Yes.
Let the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant, Tommy Lynn Sells.
He was standing behind her with his hand over her mouth, the knife right here. Katie was... Okay. He was...
As Crystal struggles to finish her accounts of that night, the judge gives her a short recess to let her recover. If she's not able to go through with it, she knows what might happen to Sells.
I put my thoughts towards Katie. I just had such a mindset that this is what I wanted to do, and this is what I had to do. This is for Katie. She deserves this.
What happened next?
He moved the knife and slit her throat. He started walking towards me.
Did you say anything to him?
Yes.
What did you tell him?
I told him I'd be quiet. I promise I won't say nothing. I'm not making the noises. It's Katie. He said, move your hands.
And why did he say move your hands? Will you show us how you had your hands?
I had them up like this.
Can you tell us why you had your hands up close to your neck?
Because I saw what he did to Katie and I was scared he was going to do it to me.
As she struggles to go through with her testimony, she finds comfort in the gift Christy gave her.
He reached over the ledge and took my throat, just laid there and pretended I was dead.
Tell us why you did that.
Because if he knew I was alive, he would have came back and killed me for sure.
Well, Crystal, you can stand down then, and this completes your examination. Thank you, and you are excused.
As soon as I stepped off the stand, I felt so good. I felt like he couldn't conquer me. He had his chance, and now look at him. He was in that trial room because of me, and I liked feeling that power.
After only a few hours of deliberation, the jury quickly comes back with a unanimous verdict.
You, Tommy Lynn Sells, have been found guilty of the offense of capital murder.
They decided to give Tommy Lynn Sells the death penalty.
The serial killer Tommy Lynn Sells, who escaped police for 20 years, is finally brought down. And it's because of one little girl's courage that he will never hurt anyone ever again.
There's not a doubt in my mind that Crystal has lost a lot, if not most of her childhood. She really has been a survivor.
Crystal came face to face with a serial killer and survived. Her road to recovery wasn't an easy one, and she may never fill that gap of losing her best friend. But as the years pass, Crystal is able to find solace in her family and newfound friends. She's closer than ever with her two sisters.
It's such a beautiful thing to see her with her sisters. Even today, she still is like a mother to them.
She graduated, and every day continues to make her friend Kate proud.
Crystal, Floyd, Searles.
Wow. The biggest comeback.
Of course,
I'm gonna
live, Katie. I think about, if
life
she was
as you
here,
try to take it away.
What would she be doing? Maybe what would we be doing? I don't ever think about Tommy Lynn Sells. I don't ever give him the time of day. It just... It makes me really thankful. That's what he did. He didn't ever bring me down at all. And these are happy tears. I'm just glad to be here.
Crystal Searles is living proof that even after tragedy, there is a life worth living.
I think just that Katie, she helped me through everything. Her soul.
I agree. Is that she'll remember this, but the matter of the fact is that she's reframing that thought. You know, she's saying that, like, despite what happened to me, of course you'll never be the same. Of course, but I don't think this is a great way to start the morning. Shut up. But like, no, what I think about this story is like the fact that like living is the ultimate. It's morning there for you guys. Damn, I know this is late night. This is definitely late night. True crime. What I don't even know what I'm trying to say. This is like late night shit. But I kind of like. I don't know. I kind of like watching this stuff because it teaches you about like the things happening around, you know, like this is real factual reality. These things are actually happening. But at the same time, it allows you to like see how people react to it and how people overcome it. It's like for this little girl, I mean, she was 10 years old. Like, obviously you could focus on like how tormented you are and stuff like that. But I think what she's choosing to focus on is that she's given a life, you know, an opportunity. So like, you know, that life was almost taken away from her. And she's just like, no, I'm gonna live despite what you wanted to happen. You wanted me to be dead. But the best revenge is me living, so yeah. Bruh, not in my world. What's realistic? The new MTG collection. Shut up. You gotta pay attention to what's happening around. I mean, there's a lot of disturbing shit out there, and I think it's important to at least recognize that it's happening and not ignore it and like believe that like none of that exists, you know? You know what I like to watch? I like to watch these are good videos. The unseen ones are good for like short, but I kind of want an interrogation. Cuz like that's when I really like that's what I really like about true crime is like interrogation and like questioning people and figuring out like the evidence behind things. Let me see if I can find some. Lurk away. What? Oh yeah, there's an. Oh wait, hold on.
Earth.
Let's take a little quick break
before
from
humans and before cringe, this planet was ruled by the dinosaurs until they were evicted by an asteroid, banishing them to the Shadow Realm, never to be seen again, but giving rise to the flesh. Well, I guess dinosaurs are flesh too, but like human flesh came with acne and stuff. And now we humans live here, but who's to say that Universal Landlord might not come knocking again with another asteroid? And by who's to say, I mean, we're all saying it. Everyone knows. Like, I'm sure you've seen the headlines. There is an asteroid heading towards Earth. Right now, it is at a 1.5% chance of hitting. Earlier today, it was at like a 3% chance of hitting. A couple days ago, it was like a 2.5% chance of hitting. All of which are actually really high. Some of the highest recorded probabilities of a huge asteroid hitting this planet in a long, long time. That dirty bastard out there, I've been shaking my fist at it for the last couple hours saying, scram, get out of here. But from what I can tell, it's not working. It is big, but it's not, you know, a planetary killer. The size that, should it actually impact Earth, it would destroy a city. So it's a city killer, which is really big. And that's pretty concerning.
Serious.
So I was watching and researching, trying to figure out, well, are the odds actually as high as that seems to me? Because as a RuneScape player, 3% those are good odds, actually. Like, that's pretty fucking solid. So I was curious about these estimates. Now, again, it has gone down. It is no longer 3%. It's dropped to about a 1.5% chance that it impacts in 2032. The only thing that's known for sure is this asteroid does pose a threat of actually impacting, and should it impact, it won't be pretty.
Of the destruction we wrought on each other in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, this is 500 times more powerful than that, just because of the energy of it coming through the atmosphere, causing shock waves, and because of the heating, exploding. So it's like a grenade. A grenade is no bigger than your fist, but it can do damage over a wide area. This is a grenade that's 60 meters across.
This is astronaut Chris Hadfield briefly going over the destructive capabilities of the asteroid, and then it got me wondering, well, if the percentage continues to climb, is there anything we can do about it? Are we just hopeless sitting ducks out here waiting to get fucked? Like, what exactly do we have? Because I recall we have DART, which I remembered successfully did change the trajectory of a space rock. Like, we confirmed that it can be done, but can it be done to something on this scale? Or are we truly just like square one? Now we're going to need to figure out maybe some kind of defensive protocol. Like maybe we send me out there with a cartoonishly large tennis racket to bat it away. Like what do we have? So that led me to a YouTube channel, Scott Manley, who was talking about it.
So the name 2024 YR4, that tells us that, well, it was discovered in 2024. Y means it was discovered in the last 2 weeks of the year. And R4 means that they've discovered about 100 asteroids before that. But you know, they get numbers and designators towards the end to tell just the order it was discovered in the year.
Yeah, the rock has a name, so you can curse it. It's not Voldemort. Go ahead and say its name. 2024 YR4. I highly recommend watching Scott's full video on this because he gives great coverage and goes over like exactly how they even get to these numbers, which I found very interesting. So he was talking about the observation as they were following this asteroid and looking at the orbits. He also does mention that there's going to be another encounter in 2028, but that one will definitely miss. This is something they can say with certainty. So 2032 is the main impact that the story is breaking on because as it climbed over 1% last month, it is increased even more as the uncertainty starts to get less and less uncertain.
I expect that what's going to happen is that we're going to see that we've seen basically the probability slowly rise over time, and this is a pattern we've seen in the past. What happens is you get a very large error section, and as it shrinks down, the Earth becomes a bigger and bigger part of that fuzzy error, or where it could arrive. But eventually, it shrinks down and the Earth is suddenly outside. So the probability goes up, 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 and then suddenly it drops to zero very quickly. That's probably what we're going to see.
That sounds wonderful. That'd be a great play from John Madden's book if we see that happen. Because right now we're at that point where it is going up and up and up, but it just recently has dropped down to 1.5% chance of hitting. So maybe we're in that stage where as the error is shrinking, the Earth is looking more and more outside of it and will hopefully drop to zero. But let's say it doesn't drop to zero. That space rock is real stubborn. It's an old battle axe up there. It said, let's get this farty sharded. And it only continues to go up. So it dropped today, but maybe it spikes back up tomorrow. We never actually leave that error. And as it becomes less and less uncertain, the percentage chance of it hitting us grows too. Well, Scott Manley talks about what our options could be in the case of an impending impact of an asteroid of this size. But before showing you our defensive options, whether we'd play a zone defense or man-to-man, I would like to show you what Scott said about the size of the asteroid, because not even that is fully known. We don't have enough data to know for certain the density or the size, so right now we're using some other factors to try and estimate.
It was unfortunately discovered too late to get any radar observations in on it, so we don't have a really good constraint on the size of the object. What we're doing is looking at the brightness and saying,
I've seen some crazy
based
shit.
upon its estimated surface reflectivity, albedo, it could be anywhere from 40 to 90 meters across, which, that's a factor of 2, but because it's a volume, it's squared, and because we don't know the density, this object could be anywhere from, say, 25,000 tons to 1,000,000 tons of mass.
Yikes. 1,000,000 tons of anything is usually bad news. That's a recipe for disaster. I can't really think of a million tons of anything that's positive. You know what they say? 1 ton, calm down, son. 1 million ton, now I'm not having fun. My whole city's fucking dead. It's all done.
Which, if you do the math on that, it says each, pound for pound, kilogram for kilogram, it would have 37 times the energy density of TNT. So that means that 27,000 minimalist low-end version is a 1 megaton blast. The big one is potentially about 40 megatons. So this is, strategic scale nuclear device yield equivalent. This is something that could absolutely devastate a very large area.
Douchebag universe shooting nuke rocks at us? Like, come on. What assholes, right? I mean, pardon my French, but the universe can be a real jerk. Space sucks. I'll say it. I'll be brave. Space sucks. You can't breathe out there in space without specialized equipment. No gravity, so you can't even get blood to your wiener and jerk off if you wanted to. Like, it sucks. There's nothing good about it. And then you can't even exist peacefully on your own little space rock without another one coming your way, fucking speeding like it's late to something and causing a ruckus.
We know based upon the timing that it would have to hit along this very narrow strip of the Earth. And this is a thin section that runs from like Central America across the Atlantic. If it lands in the ocean, that's probably not such a big deal. If it lands in a relatively uninhabited part of the world, probably not a big deal. But if it did land in a more inhabited area, well, we might want to evacuate it. That's one thing you can do. When it's something of this scale and you have 4 years of warning,
your life.
It's absolutely something you can plan. You could probably...
I was going to say, like, if anything, this should give you a reason to like live life a little bit more intentional and like fucking do what you want to do. So, because like you only get one life, and if we're all about to lose it, why not do well? Actually, that's the same kind of that's a slippery slope. Let me calm down. That's the same kind of rationale that like serial killers use. All right, Myth, no problem. You lurk. I got you.
Probably constrain it sufficiently that you could decide to make sure that no one was in that area.
Unless it's Florida. You bet your sweet bippy, if Florida was in the crosshairs here, if it was like bullseye, this asteroid is going to hit Florida, you should evacuate. I promise you, bet your bottom dollar, that sweet bippy, there would be so many Florida people that are like, hey, I don't believe it, I'm gonna hunker down. I can handle hurricanes. I can absolutely handle a little fucking pebble falling from space, you know what I mean? And then you'd have that shit come and it'd look like Independence Day when the White House blew up. Like, Florida got lucky if all this data stays this way, where Florida is not within that zone, because if it was, you would not be getting them out. The only way you'd be getting people out of Florida is if you literally, like, cryogenically froze them and transported them out yourself. Shit, I'm not gonna lie to you. Born and raised in Florida, never lived anywhere else. If I saw Florida in that line, like, if they had that, like, in the sniper scope, like, the asteroid was gonna hit, I'd be sitting there scratching my chinny chin chin going, could I take that, you think? Do you think my house could tank that? I mean, like, Florida houses are built for, like, Category 5 hurricanes, right? I mean, this probably isn't much stronger than that, right? Like, I'd have a debate with myself. Isn't that crazy? Like, I'd actually be thinking...
Fucking crazy. He's a Florida man.
What if, though? That'd be a crazy stream, right? I mean, that'd be a nuts stream, and we don't know for sure. we don't know if a house can stand up to an asteroid. It's never been tested. Yeah, we've got a lot of data and a lot of common sense that says it stands no chance, but data also said I'd be 5'8". I'm 5'6". Sometimes miracles happen. You never really know, you know what I mean?
We have recently demonstrated with the DART mission that humanity now has the ability to change the orbit of asteroids. It is possible that if it was going to, say, come down over India or something where there was sufficient self-interest and money, then the orbit could be changed. And the way you change the orbit is you hit the asteroid with a spacecraft, and there's a bit of momentum transfer, and that changes the period of the orbit ever so slightly. Now, in the case of the DART mission, it was able to move Dimorphos, which was a bigger object, by the way, by about a few hundred kilometers in the last couple of years.
So there's DART that I mentioned earlier. So I am happy to hear that this would theoretically work against this asteroid should it be necessary. However, he goes on to mention that when you're changing the velocity, you're moving it along that line he already drew. So you're changing it, and it'd still be within that line, and it'd become a trolley problem, fundamentally, as he described it, which I'm sure all of you have heard of the trolley problem before. Changing the orbit of the asteroid becomes very complicated on international levels because, as Scott mentions, if it was looking to impact somewhere over India, and India then starts trying to push it east to maybe get it off of Earth, well, it's going to go over China, and they're obviously not going to be too thrilled about that, and if it doesn't fully get off Earth and impacts China, well, that's going to be a local disaster for China and also an economic disaster for the rest of the world, so it just becomes a very tricky, complicated issue. While we can change the orbit of these asteroids with DART, it becomes very difficult to assess how and where. It gets very complicated. Scott then goes on to mention that while this is the highest probability of an impact, 2032, it's not the only one. He mentions that it could miss us, narrowly miss us, and then still come back around and impact us at a later date. So Scott Manley said, and I think this is a great clip that I'd like to play you because he's 100% right, that even if this one is a miss, and even if the one after it is a miss, all of these go to zero, one day it won't.
I think we're going to find that in the next few weeks that the probability goes to zero, but one of these days it's not going to go to zero, and then humanity is really going to have to embrace the power of the DART program and change the universe around us. I'm Scott Manley. Fly safe.
Wow.
I think he's 100% right on the money here. Now, of course, I'm just a smooth brain idiot. I'm not an actual smart person or anything.
All of us
but
are.
I think he's 100%
Smooth-brained.
correct. There will come a time where we're not going to get lucky. It's already happened before. Earth has been hit by a fucking planetary killing asteroid. RIP to the dinosaurs out there. Pour one out for them. And I think we will need to really fully start to look at DART, improve it, and really go hog wild with it in order to protect the planet. And I like
Go
that
hog
statement
wild, guys.
of changing the universe around us, because
But like the people who, okay, so like for example, the people who will have the ability to do this kind of shit are like billionaires, okay? SpaceX, Elon Musk, like those are the people that we're looking to depend to help us in this situation. And I don't have very much faith or trust in any of those people because they don't have faith or trust in they don't put any like faith in themselves for us to be able to believe them when it comes to like financing or taking care of our needs as like, you know, a society. So I don't know. It's gonna be great. I truly wish nobody like this asteroid won't hit us, but in the chance that it does, can it like go for the billionaires? Can it go to them? They won't have a hard time coping. They could just leave on their private jet. You know what I'm saying? But if it hits a bunch of people, that are fucking broke, how are we gonna help ourselves? Ooh, true crime.
Were you home when this incident happened? Was she home or no? You were definitely home? Because I don't want to catch you in a lie.
No.
Did you hear a snap? Did you hear a pop?
I'm so afraid. What did you do?
By the head and smashed into the second time.
At 5:30 p.m. on March 14th, 2011, staff at St. Luke's Hospital in Jacksonville, Florida were faced.
All right, why the fuck is every single story Florida? I'm starting to think that Florida is an issue. Is it like our beaches? Is it the water? What is going on with Floridians and their fucking obsession with just the dark arts?
With a harrowing situation. 2-year-old David Galarraga arrived at their facility limp and unresponsive. He required immediate and specialized care. But his mother's explanation about what happened left hospital staff with more questions than answers. Were his injuries the result of a terrible accident, or was there a more disturbing story behind David's condition? Police were called as a precaution and began interviewing the family to better understand what happened. Soon, a troubling case filled with lies and half-truths would unfold, one so unfathomable that it would launch a landmark case in Florida's criminal justice system. As the toddler received medical aid, police brought his mother, Bianella Susana, and his elder brother, 12-year-old Christian Fernandez, to the station to dig deeper into what really happened to 2-year-old David. The following footage has mostly never been seen before. Because David and Christian were minors, the police station has made redactions to the footage.
Before I talk to you, I'm just going to go over a few things with you, okay? These are called your constitutional rights. And I know you're...
That kid, was he looking for a way to escape? Was he touching the walls, trying to see if he could run away from this situation? Like, that's such a, like, damn. That's such a, like, it's almost unfathomable to think that, like, children, you know, they're so innocent, could, like, do something like this. That's crazy.
You're 12 years old, right? When's your birthday? Okay, so you turned 12.
13.
Oh, you're 13 now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So you're 13 years old.
I'm 12.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're 12. Okay, okay. All right. So I want to explain these to you to where you can understand them.
As investigators chat with Christian, they know his age may prove to be a challenge. Still, because they're questioning him, they read him his rights. In Florida, police can question children without their parents' permission, and they can also do so without contacting their parent or guardian.
Whoa.
A child can always refuse to be questioned, which is why the officers are careful to explain what each statement means. If it can be proven later that Christian didn't fully understand his rights, what he reveals in this interview may not be admissible in court.
And I just need you to sign here that you understand them. You have nice cursive. My son's working on his.
While the investigator works on building rapport with Christian, more details from the mother and son's initial interview at the hospital come in. According to police reports, Bianella showed a surprising lack of emotion when doctors explained the gravity of David's injuries at the hospital. Instead, she apparently told police she had been through worse. But once she's brought in for questioning, the reality of the situation appears to hit her a bit harder.
Suffered.
As police questioned Bianella, they soon realized that something might be missing from her story, but nothing would prepare them for the appalling information she was holding back.
So, tell me a little bit about tonight. I understand that, were you home when this incident happened? What time did all this occur?
A little bit after 4.
After 4? Okay. And who was home when this happened?
Everybody was home.
How long after did you know about the incident?
When he called me.
Okay, when he called you? On the phone?
No, in the house.
Okay.
According to Bianella, Christian ran into the room for help after David fell from the top of his bunk bed. When Bianella rushed to his side, she found David unresponsive.
So, when did you immediately run in there?
Mm-hmm.
And what'd you say?
He did, so I then put like some ice on stuff.
Okay.
When police took a closer look at the family's 2-bedroom apartment, they found a grisly scene. In the bedroom shared by the 3 eldest children, they discovered a blood stain on the carpet next to a school backpack, along with more blood and vomit throughout the bedroom. Baby wipes and a diaper were found on the bottom bunk bed, along with red stains on blankets, pillows, and the floor. Additional stains were found on the cabinet and shower curtain in the bathroom. David's injuries don't look good, and the more information the police can give the doctors, the better. This means they must rely heavily on the only witness, Christian.
And tonight, you guys were in your room, just you and David? Was your other brother and sister in there?
Mm-hmm.
So all y'all were
No,
in there?
I think it was Josie and him too.
Just y'all two?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was your mom doing when this happened?
I don't know. Okay. Maybe I'm driving.
Was she home or no?
I'm not sure where she was.
Tell me a little bit about tonight. I understand that, were you home when this incident happened?
While Bianella originally claimed that she was in the kitchen during David's fall, Christian's version of events didn't even place her in the apartment. He then recalled what happened in the moments after David fell, explaining that he laid his brother on the bottom bunk while he tried to get help.
And I called my mom.
And what'd you tell her?
That he got hit with that ladder climbing up.
However, this is once again a different story, making it unclear what actually happened to David. Initially, Bianella told investigators at the hospital that Christian was flipping through TV channels with David just before the incident occurred. In this brief moment of distraction, David climbed to the top of Christian's 5'2" bunk bed ladder, but the ladder suddenly shifted out of place, causing David to fall to the floor and hit his head.
And then what did she do when she came home?
She cleaned him, and then she went to the hospital. I cleaned him and changed his clothes.
Was she crying?
Mm-hmm.
So what time do you think you called her?
Like almost like 8 minutes after.
And how long did it take her to get home?
A couple of minutes.
In light of this new information, detectives press Bianella to see if she changes her story to match the one Christian is now telling.
And you were home? Okay. You were definitely home? Because I don't want to catch you in a lie. Because there's no reason to lie about something that you don't need to lie about. I'm going to ask you again. Were you home when this occurred?
Well, I had gone to the bank.
Okay. Were you home when this occurred?
No.
Okay. So you weren't in the kitchen when this happened?
No.
Okay. So you screwed up when you said he called me. He called you on the phone. And you were at the bank? Who was with you?
I was by myself.
Sure enough, Bianella backpedals. She had in fact left her 12-year-old son alone and in charge of his 3 siblings. As a single mother of 4 children, she often relied on her eldest Christian to help keep the household running smoothly.
So he called you, and how long did it take you to get home?
I went right away. Okay. I mean, I went to the ATM, and then afterwards I went back home.
When Bianella returned home, she found the same scene she described to investigators earlier, her 2-year-old boy unconscious. But this time, Christian reveals another shocking element that stuns the detectives.
So you said that she got on the computer before she went to the hospital?
No, she was on the phone on the computer.
Okay. Do you know what she was looking up?
No.
Okay.
Maybe like a hospital to go.
Oh, okay. So how long were you guys at home before you left to go to the hospital?
About 40 minutes.
40 minutes?
Police are stunned. Instead of calling 911 or rushing her unconscious child to the hospital, Bianella decided to wait it out and see what happened.
Wow.
Once 2-year-old David did arrive at the hospital, his condition was so bleak that he was airlifted to another for specialized care. All it took was one look at David for the medical staff to know something wasn't right about this bunk bed story.
And I didn't
call the police
away because after my husband passed away, like they assigned me to a caseworker, and the caseworker comes and monitors everything, right? And I'm like, okay, I already have a caseworker. If they think that I'm doing something bad to one, I have 3 other ones that depend on me, and I don't want them taken away from me.
Bianella was only 11 years old when she became pregnant with Christian. According to court documents, her mother allegedly struggled with substance use. After Christian was born, the 3 reportedly moved in and out of strangers' homes and hotels before settling in a trailer with no electricity or running water. When Christian was just 2, authorities found him wandering naked through a parking lot in the early hours of the morning while his grandmother was supposedly in charge of him. She was charged with child neglect after they found her in a nearby hotel room, allegedly intoxicated. Inside, investigators found cocaine and Christian's baby bottle, which was infested with worms. Bianella and Christian then entered foster care together when she was only 15 years old, and where Christian was allegedly assaulted by 2 boys. Eventually at 18, Bianella married Luis Galarraga Blanco, and together they had 3 children, including David. She'd recently lost her husband, but the police had yet to uncover the sinister circumstances surrounding his untimely death. These family dynamics aside, the present situation was dire. David's life was hanging by a thread, and his mother had chosen to wait rather than seek help for him. Police continue to turn up the heat on Bianella, hopeful that she might slip up.
So when you got home, you saw knocked out, as you said, right? Knocked out? In the bed. On the bottom bunk?
On the bottom bed.
Did you see anything knocked over in the room or any blood anywhere?
I saw a little bit of blood on the floor.
Okay. Where at on the floor?
Let's say like the stairs were here, and the blood was like on
okay.
there.
So kind of in front of the stairs. Okay. Did that worry you?
Yes, it did worry me, but it worried me more the fact that, you know, they're going to think that I did it.
So you got on the computer?
It worried her more? Does she think... She probably doesn't know the gravity of, like, the injuries to the kid, but, like, why was she even... Oh, God, people. You can't trust people, bro. You can't trust people. It's fucking insane. Holy moly. Hold on. I can't believe I'm like... I can't believe this story. It's too fucking crazy. Oh shit. I'm literally... Oh no. I'm live on YouTube and I forgot. Whatever. Let me just keep going.
For what?
To check, like, you know, what causes unconsciousness and how long is somebody supposed to stay unconscious, and if they, you know, if they could just wake up from that.
I just don't understand. I understand you have a problem with DCF. You thinking that they're going to take your kids away, but I don't understand why you didn't call 911. Safety's first.
I know safety's first, but like I read online that unconsciousness happens when your brain shifts from position from a head injury.
Given her two recent encounters with Florida's Department of Children and Families, also known as DCF, it was evident that Bianella was already walking on thin ice. Yet the choice to endanger her child's life to avoid another intervention was just plain shocking. Was this truly the only reason, or was there something else hidden beneath all these excuses?
And I was like, okay, it's going to shift back to its right place.
But most people wouldn't even think about going online. They would think about, oh my God, I got to call 911. And then, you know, 911's going to kind of direct you what to do on the phone until rescue gets there.
You know, I came up here with nothing. I rented an apartment and, you know, I have a roof over their head and I feed them and I take care of them. Very good. You know, better than if I was with my ex-husband.
Well, let's talk about very good.
When David arrived at the hospital, a head injury wasn't his only injury. His left leg was also set in a blue cast that extended from his hip all the way down to his foot.
In January, broken leg, right? And how did that happen?
According to a January DCF report, Bianella explained she was inside her apartment when Christian came bursting through the front door, holding David in his arms. She said the boys had just been playing together at the apartment playground, right outside her front door.
Oh, I wasn't there. I was inside the house.
Who was there?
All the children. Everybody else was there.
Did they play unsupervised?
Well, I open the window and I look at them.
But you're not watching them?
But I'm not out there.
So you're not watching them? You just have the window open, so if someone screams, you can hear them?
Yeah.
The whole time?
Yeah.
So then if you watched them the whole time, you would see what happened?
Well, I wasn't with my eyes on them the whole time, but
that's what I'm saying. You don't watch them the whole time.
Watching them.
Bianella had said that David broke his leg when he accidentally fell from the monkey bars, but there was one small problem with her story. The apartment playground had no monkey bars. When police go through the DCF reports, they also find several other inconsistencies. First, Bianella tells investigators the story about David's fall from the monkey bars. Then, perhaps to avoid being caught in a lie, she recalled the incident as a fall from the jungle gym. Bianella's sister later told police another story. This one was that 2-year-old David was jumping from swing to swing when he fell and broke his leg. In any case, things aren't looking good for Bianella, and it only got worse when Christian revealed an entirely different version of events.
You said before, in January, he got hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he had broken his leg, little David. And how did he break his leg in January?
By yoga.
Yoga? And what room were you guys in?
In our room.
Were y'all watching that on TV or something?
No.
Where'd you see that at?
In a book.
And where?
In a book.
In a book. You still have that book?
No.
Who else was in the room when that happened?
Me and him.
Just y'all two?
Mm-hmm.
Where was your mom at?
I think she was taking my brother to school.
Not only does Christian's story not align with his mother's, but once again, Bianella was nowhere to be found when the injury took place.
And did someone from Department of Children and Families contact you?
To my mom?
Yeah.
And us?
Yeah. And what did you tell them what happened?
That he fell off my monkey bars.
Christian has once again allegedly lied for his mother. Now the detective has no choice but to confront Bianella about the playground stories and how David actually broke his leg.
But that's not really what happened, is it?
What do you mean?
I'm asking you. I need you to be honest. Because you're only going to hurt yourself in the long run.
Bro.
Okay, that's not what happened, is it? Just like you weren't home today when it happened. That's not what happened, is it?
It was my son.
Mm-hmm. And what did he do?
He said he was wrestling.
In a shocking twist, Bianella now appeared to be blaming Christian for David's grievous injuries. She then explained that initially she wasn't convinced David's leg injury was serious, and at first the detectives let her play that story out, but they know something about the timeline of this injury that Bianella hasn't mentioned yet.
And then I heard, like, when people break bones, they can't stand the pain. They're just screaming and crying from the pain, even when you touch it. So I didn't think that by him being 12, he would be capable of breaking anything because he's a kid.
I mean, anybody could be capable when they're 11, 12 years old. Why did you...
But then I was scared that they were going to take him away. I mean, he's still my son, even though he did that. I thought that by me talking to him and me being on
Okay, I'm scared that they're going to take him away. You're not scared of him dying. You're not scared of him being hurt. You're not scared of him injuring himself. You're just afraid that somebody's going to take your kid away and you're going to look like a bad mother. You're just afraid for your own ego. Oh my God, this woman does not be capable of having kids.
top of him and just, me making him realize what he had done. And I took him to the hospital with me. He was in the hospital with me the whole time watching, the pain that they were going through.
This is what I don't understand about that, though. I understand as a mom, you don't want your son to get in trouble for something that he probably didn't mean to do. Right? Am I right? Okay. I can understand that. I mean, I got 3 kids, but this is what I don't understand about that. You wait 2 days to the hospital.
I didn't think he was capable of breaking anything. I thought it was just swollen.
Oh, the kid was crying.
Police look to Christian to help them fill in the blanks, and what he shared this time changes the trajectory of the case yet again.
He was sitting like this, and then how did you do his legs so we can understand what happened?
Like this.
And then what else did you do with his little legs?
And like this. And that's it.
So you weren't trying to hurt him?
No.
It was an accident?
But I didn't know his bone was gonna break.
Yeah, I understand.
Because I was doing too.
You were doing
but
it
my
too?
bone didn't break.
Can you do that? Can you do that? That's what you were trying to do?
Mm-hmm.
Can you do it?
No.
So show me again what you do.
Just...
Oh, okay. Did you hear a snap or something?
What do you mean, like a snap?
Yeah, when he broke his leg. Did you hear it snap?
Like a crack?
Did you hear it pop?
Well, sort of.
Yeah. And what happened then?
He started crying and then I stopped.
Oh. So how long was it before your mom got home? Do you remember?
A couple of, minutes.
As it turns out, David had a remarkably severe injury, One doctor who cared for the 2-year-old said his double fracture was the worst broken bone he'd seen on a toddler.
How long did he cry from her? Long time? Mm-hmm. That probably hurt him really bad, huh?
Little did the detectives know, something far worse is right around the corner.
So you know your son did that in January. You lied. You told him to tell a lie to DCF, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you told him to lie. You lied. You lied to us. You lied to DCF. I'm just trying to, and I understand I understand why you lied in the beginning, because you don't want your son to get in trouble for something he didn't mean to do, I guess, correct? But then you told him to lie, and then you lied and just got all out of hand. And don't you think it'd just been easier just to tell DCF? My son did it. It was an accident.
No, because it wasn't easy for me to tell DCF, and look where I am now. It's not easy.
Based on conversations with hospital staff, police are extremely skeptical that the first story they are told about David's head injury is the truth. Detectives circled back to the events leading up to the injury as they continued to question Bianella. Once again, her story wavered. But this time the details she changed to leave her toddler's life hanging in the balance. Earlier, she told police she took David to the hospital 40 minutes after making it back home. From there, her estimation of the time it took slowly expands.
And you waited for how long? 40 minutes, you said? You sure it was only 40 minutes?
About an hour, but it was about that time.
Okay, because, I mean, what time did they get the call?
6.
Okay.
Next, she says it's 1 hour, and then it's closer to 2. It was also eventually revealed that while David was unconscious and fighting for his life, instead of calling 911, Bianella told authorities she called a pediatrician once, but gave up when she was put on hold. Her interrogation ended soon after, but the most damning of evidence was yet to be revealed. Christian was seemingly honest about the events behind David's broken leg, so detectives are hopeful he'll be forthcoming a second time.
Tell me what happened. It's okay. You're almost there. Tell me what happened.
By now, it's the early morning hours of March 15th. The police were called out on the evening of March 14th, and Christian's been up the entire night talking to the detective. His exhaustion is evident.
David's not feeling too good right now. Okay? He deserves for you to tell us the truth. It's just time to be honest. Everything's going to be okay. You don't have to be scared. The door's open and we're just sitting here, just me and you. So you don't have to be scared. There's nothing to be scared of. I want to be able to tell everybody that you tell the truth about things. It's okay. I'm not angry with you or mad at you or anything like that. We just need to know the truth.
At this point, the detectives are well aware that Christian comes from a background of violence. In fact, just 3 months before David's leg injury, Christian endured a hellish ordeal involving alleged aggression and violence at the hand of his late stepfather, Luis Galarraga Blanco. According to court documents, in October of 2010, Christian's mother was called to his middle school when staff noticed his face was red and swollen. By the time she arrived, police and DCF investigators were questioning him. He alleged his stepfather punched him in the face. His injuries were so severe that he needed surgery to repair a torn retina. As an ambulance whisked Christian away, a stunned Bianella reportedly called her husband for answers. Luis then took his own life in front of their 3 kids, allegedly when he discovered police were on their way to arrest him for suspected violence against a child. Their daughter, no more than 4 years old at the time, answered the door when police knocked. David was also found in a nearby bedroom, reportedly shaking and covered in blood. Some of Christian's behavior when left alone displays the kind of violence he may have been subjected to.
So tell me what really happened tonight.
I put him to carry books.
You put him to carry books?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what kind of books?
Like the books that we have on our bookshelves.
Are they big books or little books?
Like a bunch of skinny books.
So he was carrying them?
Mm-hmm.
Does he walk good that one cast?
I take pictures with one and normal works with the other.
Okay, so he had books in his arms?
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened?
And then they fell on him.
They fell on him as he was carrying them?
As he was carrying them.
Yo, this
Or
is
they
bad,
fell
bro.
On his head. I don't know.
How did they fall instead of he was carrying them?
Christian changed the story yet again, but detectives still haven't uncovered the horrific truth.
Like this, he was carrying them. Because he doesn't know how to carry away.
Okay. So then what else happened?
And then they fell on him, and then he fell.
Okay. What else happened tonight? Because remember we said, so he had his arms up like this with the books?
Mm-hmm.
And then the books fell?
Mm-hmm.
And what did you see the books fall on?
Part of his face and part of his head.
Okay. Well, you know, this side of his head is really injured up with a lot of bruising and swelling.
Mm-hmm.
So, and his nose is really swelled up. So, it had something else happened tonight besides just books falling. So tell me about what else happened at college.
After that happened, I wasn't him anymore.
Bro, so let me give you a rundown, miss. So basically, this kid, his mom and his siblings have lived a life of like just like horrific events. So like his mom got pregnant with him at 11 years old because I think she was raped or something, or I'm not sure, but she was pregnant with him at 11 years old. And she couldn't take care of him. I believe her grandmother, or like his grandmother, her mom was going through substance abuse, so they were both put into foster care very early on. When she turned 18, she obviously moved out, got him a place, and got married with this one guy who allegedly was abused the children by punching them and showing them violence. After the school called him once, called her, the mother, because Christian, this is the kid Christian here, because he had a red and swollen face. And in Florida, you can question a kid with the police and investigators without calling the parents. So by the time she arrived to the school, he was already gone to the police station, and they had already questioned him that the stepfather was abusing him. So you know what the fucking stepfather did? He committed suicide in front of those fucking kids when he found out that the police were coming to arrest him. So like, yeah, imagine you're already been abused, and your freaking stepfather committed suicide in front of you. So then Christian, a couple months later, started playing with his brother David. David is the one who's not in this interview or this video at all, because David is severely injured. A couple months after his stepfather killed himself, Christian starts playing with David and basically breaks his leg. David, a toddler, goes to the hospital, or doesn't even go to the hospital. They wait like 2 to 4 days before they go to the hospital. The mom doesn't even call 911 because she has already Departments of Children and Families on her ass, because she keeps leaving the kids alone, and bad shit happens to the kids, like they get injured or something happens, and so she's afraid that they're going to take her kids away, so she doesn't call 911. Insane. So he breaks his leg. She was like, "Oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad." Even though the kid's crying every fucking single day, and you're like, you can't touch his leg because it obviously hurts. He had severe fractures on his leg, like multiple fractures. So like it was very painful, and the doctor said that it was one of the worst fractures he'd ever seen on a toddler. So obviously, like, that's concerning. Then a couple months later, this incident happens where David falls off the bed, supposedly according to this kid and his mom. Mom wasn't even in the house. Lies to police and says that she was, even though she wasn't. But then she spends 2 hours Googling on the internet, if you're unconscious, can you survive? And like basically like she's figured out in her own mind that she don't need to call the police or call a doctor, because unconsciousness can resolve on its own. And she didn't think it was that serious. The fucking bitch should never have children ever again in her life. but they're just about to get to what happened to the kid, because this little kid right here, Christian, he keeps lying to the police saying that, oh, he had books over his head. Obviously, he's hiding something. He also lied for his mother earlier when they found out it was a lie, that she was not there at the scene. Um, and that little kid David had injured himself on a jungle gym when that wasn't even true. It was this kid who broke that little kid's leg uh, a couple months ago. So like, he's obviously comfortable lying for his mother. But the police are about to uncover the truth of what happened that specific incident that night, to uncover why David's head is so heavily bruised.
Okay, so he never fell off the bunk bed?
Mm.
No. Okay. So he never hit his head on the bed?
No.
So did you do anything for him to make him hit his head?
What do you mean? Like, I pushed him?
Yeah. Did you push him tonight?
To the bed?
No. Did you do anything for his head to hit anything tonight?
Well, we were just carrying books, and then it fell on him.
Right. And what else happened?
And then I took all the books away from him, and then he was sleeping.
Well, he didn't get those head injuries just from books. That's not the truth, Christian, is it? It's okay. I just need to know the truth. You know, I know it's hard to tell the truth because you know, I know you said earlier it's hard to tell the truth. Is that what your mom's going to tell me? That's not what your mom's going to tell me, is it? Okay. He's got really bad head injury. So if you could tell me how he got that, it would be really helpful for him. And for us. And then the truth will be known, and you don't have to worry about hiding that inside anymore. What are you scared of? You're scared of telling me? I know, I can see it. Did your mom do something to David?
No.
When Christian doesn't budge on his story, the detective tried a different approach, and the results are more shocking than she could have anticipated.
Did you push him down?
No.
What did you hit him with? Did you hit him with something on his head?
No.
So what happened? What happened to the side of his head?
I pushed him against a bookshelf.
Why'd you push him? Are you angry about something?
Yes.
What were you angry about?
Oh, my stepdad did to me.
Or what your stepdad did to you? Is that what you said? Why were you angry about that tonight?
Because I was thinking a lot.
How many times did you push him into the shelf?
Twice.
How did you want to, like, say this is the shelf. Can you show me with the doll how you pushed him into the shelf?
By his hand.
So, show me with the doll how you...
Like, push it.
Oh, okay. So, you pushed him with your hand into the shelf. Is that all that happened tonight?
Though the investigator is saying tonight, they would soon discover that this wasn't quite accurate. David wasn't injured in the evening, as they previously thought. He was actually injured hours earlier, sometime in the morning.
So how did all the blood get everywhere in the room?
Because I was dragging him to his bed.
So you dragged him to the bed?
Well, I actually carried him.
Okay. To what bed?
To my brother's bed.
The bottom bunk? Okay. So you carried him to the bottom bunk, and where was he bleeding from?
From his nose.
Okay. Anywhere else?
I know. It's crazy.
His mouth is bleeding? Okay. Did you call your mom as soon as it happened? Or did you just wait for her to come?
As soon as it happened. I realized what I'd done.
When Bianella returned home that morning, she found David bleeding from both nostrils. After she cleaned his face, she loaded her children into the car. David remained unconscious as she dropped the others off at school. Instead of heading to the hospital, she then returned to her apartment. where David lay unresponsive for the entire day. But this was just the beginning of David's torment. From here, the story takes an even more disturbing turn.
And so you picked him up?
I carried him and I put him in the bed.
How'd you carry him? Did you carry him like this? Or how'd you
Yeah, like normal, like this.
Oh, you carried him over your shoulder?
Mm-hmm.
You'd probably have blood on your shirt if that was that shirt, huh? Because he was bleeding out of his nose? And you carried him over your shoulder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't that shirt, was it?
I'm not sure how I carried him. But I know I carried him by my shoulder or like in front of me.
Okay. So you just carried him right away to the bed?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you did?
Like fast. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then after you got him on the bed, what did you do?
I thought about what I did.
After dropping the children at school and returning home, and while David was grievously injured and clinging to life, Bianella casually surfed the internet. At 10:54 a.m., she searched the phrase, "when someone gets knocked out," followed by "how to wake someone from a concussion." By 2:15 p.m., she was looking up "when you're unconscious for hours." In between searches, she added money to her phone plan, searched for screensavers, logged onto YouTube, and downloaded music. Allegedly, she even made time to look up celebrity gossip.
She did not care about that kid, bro. She didn't give a shit. She just went on her merry way. Like, oh, he's just sleeping. I'm gonna look up music now. Oh, and these people procreate and just oh my god, and create traumatic people that later on in life, like we don't know what they will become. Oh my god, such broken.
Nobody else touched him or hurt him?
No.
It was just you. Okay. Do you feel better about telling me what happened?
No.
You don't feel better? Mm-hmm. Was that the truth, what you told me?
Mm-hmm.
This time? Yeah. What do you think your mom's gonna say? She's just gonna be upset for everybody, huh? She'll be upset for you too.
The investigator asked Christian one last time if he alone hurt David, perhaps in an attempt to resolve any lingering suspicions she may have. And rightly so. Up until now, Bianella hasn't had the greatest track record for honesty, but the detective would soon find the most disturbing details of David's story had yet to be revealed.
Did you know what you did was wrong?
Mm-hmm.
How did you,
I felt bad because then I realized what I actually done. Because I wasn't really thinking about what I was doing when I pushed him. I was just thinking about my stepdad.
Okay. And then when you realized what you'd done and you said you felt bad, what did you feel bad about?
About what I did and what was going to happen later.
To him or to you?
To him. I wasn't worried about me.
Okay. You were at some point, though. That's why you lied, right?
Well, I was a little worried.
Did your mom tell you to say anything different when?
I like to, but she didn't know it was me that did it.
Right.
While there's at least one documented case of such violence that Bianella agrees to, other sources suggest that Christian may have endured his stepfather's alleged violence for as long as 5 years.
Oh.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you push him twice? Why'd you push him 2 times?
I don't know. I don't even know why I pushed him from the start.
Authorities are left to confront Bianella with the awful truth.
This wasn't an accident. Christian did it.
What do you? How did you do it?
He got mad at her and he took him by the head and smacked twice into the bookshelf. Did he cry?
Yeah,
First time. And then you pushed him again.
Mm-hmm. I didn't stop crying.
And he said the first time he hit it, he was crying, and the second time he did it, out and unconscious. And that's when he carried to the bed, and that's when he knew that he did something really bad.
And he said he lied to you about it. So I know you didn't know. I know you didn't know. Anything else you want to tell me about tonight? Or is that all I need to tell the doctors?
If he hasn't woke up?
He's still sleeping. His brain started swelling.
Like bigger or smaller?
Bigger.
Bigger? So it touches his brain?
Yes. I guess when his head hit the shell, it caused some swelling, I think.
Without knowing it, Christian makes an important revelation about his ability to comprehend what's happening. The average 12-year-old would likely understand the concept of swelling, but Christian asked the detective to explain what it means. This request is a potential red flag for Christian being cognitively behind his peers.
And the doctor say if he was gonna make it?
They said that they're hoping that he's gonna wake up.
And if he doesn't wake up, that means that he has to make he didn't make it?
Yeah, if he doesn't wake up, that means he doesn't make it.
But as soon as the detective leaves Christian alone, he says something horrid.
David has to push twice. He got knocked out.
He said he just got mad tonight and he snapped. And now the unthinkable is the outcome of the situation. But I didn't tell him what the doctors told you.
According to hospital staff and police reports, David was only alive because he was on life support requiring a ventilator to breathe. His injuries were both extensive and horrific. His neck rested inside a protective brace. His skull was fractured, and his nose was broken and bloody. His right forearm was injured and possibly fractured. David had swelling and redness in both eyes, with a bruise under his left eye. He had a contusion on his right hip, a hematoma above his right ear, and a bruise on the right side of his forehead. Hopeful that they may squeeze out any more lingering details, detectives encouraged Bianella to talk with Christian. At first, she refused, but they eventually convinced her to see him.
Christian. Hey, buddy. I know you're tired, sweetie. You all right? Your mama wants to talk to you. You okay? A little wobbly? I know.
It's not even a question of how could somebody do this. It's a child. Like, how much did this child have to suffer? You know? Ugh.
This way, baby. If you could talk English, it'd be better. Okay.
What did you do? Tell me what you did. What did you do? Stop. Tell me what happened.
What the show?
Didn't you think that was gonna hurt? Why would you do something like that? Please, Papa, God.
She don't even want to see him. She don't even, I mean, obviously, like, the kid did something awful, but oh my God. Yeah, I mean, I guess anybody would be like, not wanting to see the person that committed this horrific act, but at the same time, it's like, bitch, you're the one that needs to see this. This is a direct result of you and your environment that you created for yourself. You could have asked for help. Those kids could have been in a different person's care if you couldn't take care of them anymore.
After Bianella sent her son away, police find one final bombshell to unearth. Bianella's search records show that finally at 3:07 p.m., hours after the head injury, she looked up the hospital where she would later bring David. After she picked her other 3 children up from school, presumably with David in tow, she returned to her apartment once again. David didn't arrive at the hospital until 5:30 p.m., a full 8 hours after his devastating injury. To make matters worse, police were unable to confirm that she was ever at a Wachovia ATM that morning during the incident. Reports indicate no record of any account activity. Overwhelmed by the events of the night, his mother's reaction, and perhaps after fully realizing the consequences of his actions, Christian finally begins to crack. On March 16, 2011, 2 days after his injuries were sustained, doctors made the difficult decision to remove David from life support. His injuries were far too severe for him to ever recover. After conducting an autopsy, it was ruled his death was a homicide caused by blunt force trauma to the head. Even more devastating is the fact that if Bianella sought medical attention for David at the time of the incident, he might still be alive today. Christian was arrested immediately after his questioning.
Time to go, buddy. I need you to stand up. I gotta put these on you. So I gotta put these on you. Come on, stand up, buddy. Stand up for me. Put your hands back behind your back. Turn around that way. There you go. There you go. Back here. All right, come on up. Let's go this way.
In Florida, minors are generally handled in the juvenile system. However, Florida does not have a minimum statutory age for filing charges against a child of any age for a capital offense, meaning those punishable by death or life in prison. Due to this, though Christian was only 12 at the time of the crime, he was charged as an adult, becoming the youngest person in Duval County, Florida to be indicted for first-degree murder. Bianella's arrest followed just 2 weeks later. She pleaded guilty to aggravated manslaughter and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. The judge credited her with the 2 years, 4 months she already served in jail and suspended the rest of the sentence to probation. She was also ordered to spend 90 days in the Hubbard House domestic violence shelter and then 2 years at a halfway house. Christian's case received a lot of public attention, including letters to the judge supporting him. One letter requested that he be tried as a juvenile and included a petition with almost 9,000 signatures from across the world. Eventually, Christian received a plea deal for the lesser charges of aggravated battery and manslaughter. He served 7 years total in a juvenile detention facility and was released on his 19th birthday in 2018. His probation was officially terminated in May of 2023. Following his release, and according to his Instagram, Christian now works at a barber shop.
Crazy, man. Fucking crazy. Thanks for lurking. I appreciate it. We're just watching some fucked up shit today. Oh my gosh. This is the kind of shit. Yeah, that video was something else. It's just, I mean, and they're already out. His mom, him, they're free to do whatever the hell that they want. Obviously, I mean, they have a record. So like they will never escape that. I mean, I'm sure that kid will never forget how he killed his brother. I just hope they learn something. I had a question. What question? What does community work mean? Oh, like it's like volunteer work. So like basically community work, when you get served that, you basically like have to pick up trash around, you know, do volunteer service for like any organizations or agencies that allow community service. So it could just be like doing the most mundane tasks. It's really just like working in the community. I guess it's a way to try to rehabilitate yourself to like being around people, but doing service. And maybe people find like reasons to want to. Is that in probation the same? No. Probation is when you're constantly being watched, and when you're on house arrest. That's like a form of probation. A form of it, I guess. Probation just means you're like only allowed to go to work or to school and come back to your house. Like, you're under strict watch. You can't just do whatever you want. And you when you're on probation, you probably have a curfew that you have to follow and abide by, and if you break any terms of the probation, you can get put back in jail. So it's like a way of being free without having all your freedom. So yeah. These are some interesting. So the things you can do are limited and you're always monitored. Yeah. Yeah. So you're never like truly free. But oh damn. Okay, I gotta watch something wait. Oh, I don't know if I should keep watching Doom content, but okay, let's watch this one. I don't know why it is so weird to watch like children.
You want to sit down?
You don't want to be rude, but you think it's time for something sane. One more, and then we're done. One more, and then we're done. And then I'll switch to like different kind of content. It's so interesting to me when like children do these kind of acts, because it's like, you know, like, you're not born this way. All right, one more psychopathic video. Let's go.
Tell me about mommy or daddy or somebody else. My dad is bad now. Your dad is bad now? Tell me about dad being bad now.
What happened at the house with your wife, with Jasmine?
I remember. Mom, she got shot everywhere. I get more 7. AK-47? Okay.
What did you do?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, how many kids you got?
I got 5 kids. And he shot her 4 times, 3 times. Okay.
On March 4th, 2022, a mother's worst nightmare occurred for Jasmine Serena. A man armed with a gun entered her home. He would notice 4 children watching television in their living room. They would freeze up and look at him in horror, unable to do anything. But the man would pass by. He wasn't looking to harm Jasmine's children. Instead, he made his way over to the kitchen where Jasmine was standing and shot. Three bullets struck Jasmine, and she was left in critical condition, lying helplessly in her kitchen. The suspect left the scene in a hurry, thinking she was done for. But unfortunately for him, Jasmine managed to survive. Despite her critical condition, she managed to call 911 and ask for help. Officer Baker was the first cop to arrive at the scene. Seeing all the kids surrounding their mother, crying for help, she was immediately transferred to the El Paso hospital by helicopter. Now it's a race against time for doctors. With each passing second, her chances of survival rapidly decrease. And for the detectives, they needed to find their suspect fast before he struck another innocent victim. Right now, they needed any clue that could lead them to the possible killer. So multiple officers would go back to the crime scene to take a closer look at exactly what just went down.
Okay, so I have bullets, or casings, excuse me. One there, one on the table. I have one where she was sitting, or where I found her.
Leaning against the thing.
Was her feet facing us? Yeah, because you can see there's impacts right there and right there.
Oh, okay.
And there's another casing back over there on the floor.
Okay.
I got here. She's sitting facing me with her legs out. She had a strike here, here, and what looks like a through and through here with her shirt up. She had nothing that went through completely on the back.
Oh, so the rounds are in here? I thought it was a round like this.
No, she's distended.
Okay.
It's all internal right here.
According to the police report, the victim, Jasmine Serena, took 2 bullets to her abdomen and the third bullet landed right in her leg. Despite her critical condition, she gathered the little energy she had and told Officer Baker the attacker's name.
She said
What
that
are we
it was
watching?
Julian that did it.
Doomer boomer shit.
Valenzuela.
Look at my face.
That was the name of her
Watching,
own
like,
husband,
delayed.
Julian Valenzuela,
so
and the
fucking
father of 4 children who just saw their dad shoot their mom. However,
this
this
content. I
wasn't
don't wanna
the
have lunch
only
for this.
thing she
This
was
is
able
so-
to tell the cops. Jasmine also
fucked
mentioned
up.
the car Julian
I'm not
drove to the house
excited.
before
Oh my
shooting, a red sedan. In a matter of seconds, all patrols nearby received a notification to stop any red sedans they saw on the streets of Las Cruces. While
there's no
Julian's
bleeder.
vehicle was being tracked down, Officer Dollar, along with his partner, had a different task. It was reported Julian was living at this house. With him being on the run, police think there's a chance he could be hiding in the home. So the 2 officers would make their way into the home in hopes to find a surrendered Julian, or at least a clue of where he might be.
Yeah, it's wide open front and back. It's cluttered. It's just abandoned.
Las Cruces Police Department, anybody inside the residence, come out to the sound of my voice.
There was no other choice but to enter the house forcibly and make sure the suspect wasn't hiding inside. For all they know, Julian could be waiting for them, and knowing he's armed, tensions are as high as ever for these cops.
Can't get into these things. Oh. 85049 on Lester and Shannon. Jesus Christ.
After searching the remaining rooms inside the house, the suspect was
Yeah,
nowhere to be
it's body
found.
cam.
But just as they thought they would be coming out with nothing, they received this message on the radio.
It's limited 43 right now. Red Hyundai at a high rate of speed was last seen going towards Idaho. We're still at it.
An exact description of the car Julian used to flee the scene just near their position, a red Hyundai Elantra. Officer Dollar wastes no time and hops into his car. He must
Dollar,
get to the
what a name.
suspect as fast as possible before the police lose track of him again.
Vehicle should have a black bumper per the note, possibly headed towards Lester, and it is going to be a newer model.
25 southbound on a Spina, high rate of speed, just past Gardner.
Copy southbound at Spina, high rate of speed.
Pursuit authorized. Suspect on a gunshot victim. Alright, he's gonna stop. He's stopping in Milton. He's got a gun!
Oh shit, so he's shooting.
Central, he just shot at me 3 or 4 times on 2-4.
Is anyone with 853?
The pursuit continued until the suspect closed into the intersection of University Wave and Espina Street.
Is it really?
A red
TOS?
light was shining bright for Julian to stop, but he
Gunshots?
didn't care and pushed on the gas. And just as he thought he could make it across, the suspect plummets right into a silver car, knocking the innocent driver to the side of the road. The officers in pursuit sped up to the crash, but they can't rush to apprehend him just yet, as he already fired multiple rounds at Detective Dollar just a minute ago, and there was every reason to believe he will do it again. So they have to be ready to take Julian down if he makes any sudden moves.
Show me your fucking hands! Do it now! Do it now! Show me your hands! Get on the fucking ground!
Under multiple gun
Don't
sights,
move. Get on the fucking
suspect
ground.
has no other choice than to step out of the car and lie on the ground. Although he looks disabled, this doesn't satisfy Officer Dollar and his colleagues. From what they know, the suspect is still armed and could be pretending to be injured to try and catch them by surprise. Officer Dollar wasn't going to take any chances, so he decided to deploy a different weapon to make the suspect obey their commands.
The taser?
I got the dog!
Oh, the dog!
Stay!
Not the dog!
Crawl forward!
Right now, Julian
Yeah, they're
seems disabled
puppies.
enough. A crash that could have killed him only left him with a concussion. He can't even stand up. Using a canine in this scenario would be an overkill. But Officer Dollar had already made up his mind a few moments ago.
Oh no! Send this dog! Ready?
But this is where officers would go too far, and it would actually impact this entire case later on. Officer Dollar's dog would bite into Julian just like instructed. However, it would take 2 minutes of struggle to make the dog finally let go of the suspect's flesh. The law doesn't prohibit a dog to bite and hold the suspect. However, the important part of using a canine is to make sure the suspect does not sustain unnecessary injuries during the arrest. Officer Dollar's canine succeeded at holding the suspect, but this is where the officer met a serious challenge. He could not make the dog release the suspect. Even after being subdued and posing no further harm to the police officers, the dog continued to hold onto the suspect's arm, causing him more injuries. This is a clear case of excessive force and would impact the rest of this case. Dollar's decision to use canine will be reviewed and reevaluated as the investigation into the case
He's gonna have to
progresses.
pay more than just $1.
But for now, the suspect's bite wounds were too severe to ignore, and his overall condition suggested heavy alcohol intoxication or even worse. So to make sure Julian lived long enough to face justice, the cops decided to get him to the hospital and treat his wounds. While this team of officers was transporting the suspect, another team at the crime scene was collecting evidence to build a strong case against Julian and charge him for his evil crime.
Honestly, it sounds like Florida.
But there was a
Doesn't
problem.
look like it though.
They didn't know who he really was and how the crime first unfolded. His wife was in critical condition and her kids were too traumatized to talk with law enforcement, at least for now. The only hope they've got lies in the hands of witnesses. Only their stories could reveal how much of an awful person Julian really is. And luckily for the officers, the witnesses were not afraid to speak out against this monster.
What'd you see, man? I was over there, right across the stop sign. Like on the other side of the stop sign? Yeah, and me and my cousin, we're looking in front of us, and we're just like we see a car speeding so fast, right? And it's like, we're looking at him, and he's mad dogging us, really mad looking dude. What did he look like? He saw his face more than me. I went inside. What was the car? Like maroonish, reddish. It was a Hyundai, a Elantra.
Yeah,
and they started screaming, and they were having, and like he went in there, and I guess they were having an argument. And I heard like pop, pop, pop 3 times. I think he unloaded probably more than 5. 5? Yeah, probably more than 5. And that's whenever he came outside, and then that's whenever I was like, he's actually shooting. So we like ran back inside. He got in his car and like, he shot like that way. He shot that way? Like yeah, towards the truck. He just went like this and he shot towards that way, right? Towards this way, yeah, somewhere over there. The officer, the dog officer, I see his car come on here and they meet. And he throws a shot and leaves. When he was coming this way was whenever we saw the cop. So we waved at him and we're like, he just shot somebody, he just shot somebody. And then the car went that way. And then right as soon as he got like a little bit past that little Mitsubishi truck, he shot again towards over there. Well, I don't know if he shot up or I don't know where he shot, but we were already running inside.
If what these eyewitnesses are telling is true, then the whole shooting had a long and steady build-up to it. But what the next witness had to say would give officers even more disturbing insight into Julian's terrifying actions.
But the other night, they had domestics, and she was yelling, "You're gonna f me," and he had her by his hair. And
this is great lunch content. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
When was that?
Like 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago?
Yeah, 2 nights ago.
Quesadilla tastes so much better.
Like we always hear them fighting and arguing. Yeah.
Was she on the ground?
Yeah, and he was dragging her out of her house, and she was like this, and he had her, and he was, throwing punches to her. And then the day after that, she was parked right here. It was early in the morning. I just got back from taking the kids to school. I saw her in the car, and the kids were still back there, and she was sitting in the front seat, and he was on the other side, and it looked like they were arguing in the vehicle. And she started hitting her head on the steering wheel and punching the steering wheel, and they were arguing. And finally, he got out of her vehicle, and then, he took off. And then the next
this
day,
kid
that's
got
when
kids,
he had
that's right.
her by the hair, dragging her out. She was yelling, "You're gonna f me."
Look at my baby.
Not only did Julian physically abuse his wife,
No,
but
you
also
can study.
threatened
You can
her
study.
life
You can study
multiple
myths. Don't-
times before actually going and fulfilling those threats. There was only one person left to question, Jasmine herself, the victim of this twisted crime. Only she could tell the true story behind closed doors. That is, if she would ever recover from this vicious attack. Doctors
leave in the
could not
background, man.
promise
Hey,
her
hey, hey,
survival.
don't be
2
eating
shots
my
to the abdomen are
burrito.
too severe for any person to survive. Likely, it was already too late for her. That's why the officers transporting Julian to the hospital needed Julian to survive. They wanted to hear his side of the story and understand one simple question. What drove him to try and take the life of his own wife and the mother of his 4 little
exam is very
boys?
relevant
But
to
when they
murder,
finally arrived at the hospital, cops quickly ran into a new problem.
That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What the whole Yeah. So stop kicking. Nerds. I bet.
Shut the fuck up. You shut up. Is that? Hey, there's sick people.
Hey, calm down. You understand me?
You calm down.
Let's.
There's kids around here, dude. They don't hear that. I know you don't, but I do.
What do you guys need from him?
I stopped. What the? This is what happens. Nurses, Michael.
Get off my feet, dude. No.
Get off my feet.
I'm gonna say right now, you're not gonna like this, so I'm gonna try to get you to calm down. Okay, we're gonna photograph your injuries. I'm not gonna play.
Ow!
Ow! You understand?
I saw a dog fight.
Okay. Well, we asked the doctor, so.
How come you shoot me?
Bro, he wants to die.
Hey, dude. Let's go, man. Let's go, man. Wake up, man.
You gonna sit on this wheelchair?
We're gonna wheel you out to the car, okay?
Right after the crash, the police discovered a pistol with an empty magazine along with several half-empty bottles of beer inside. This explains Julian's erratic
beer?
behavior
Hello.
during and after the arrest. Additionally, on his way to the police station, Julian
currently being
admitted
held
to
against
shooting
my
his
will.
wife in cold blood, all without interrogation.
being
But
held
as you'll
hostage by my
soon
cat,
see
guys?
during the questioning, even details like this can suddenly vanish, because once they brought Julian to the interrogation room, he had already forgotten everything.
Having those in mind, do you want to talk to me, kind of give me your version of what's been happening and whatnot?
No, what's happening? I've been drinking for 3 days. Thirsty.
It really is.
What, if you want to keep them closed and it's easier for you to talk that way and you're not struggling, that's fine. Just don't fall asleep. Was there anything other than alcohol you were drinking?
No.
What type of alcohol you drink? Budweiser's? Okay. Can or bottle?
Was he on probation? He had a
Bottle?
monitor on him.
Okay. So why for 3 days? What's been going on? You and your old lady been having some problems? Huh?
This only confirms why Julian is so visibly intoxicated, and it's honestly a surprise he's even able to understand and talk with the officer. Still, his condition might complicate the interrogation process. After all, alcohol can lead to lapses in memory. He simply might not remember the events of that evening, a perfect excuse for someone like him in this situation. But this isn't going to be good enough for Detective Melinda to accept, so he keeps pressing for a confession.
What happened at the house with your wife? With Jasmine?
I remember.
I think you do, because you told them what happened.
I remember going in there. Trying to food.
Where'd you pull the gun out from?
My pocket.
Which side? Which pocket did you have it in?
I remember.
What type of gun is it?
I don't know what kind of gun it is. I don't even know what's going on. I just know I cannot see nothing.
So
I'm trying to open my eyes.
That's fine, dude. I don't want you to see anything. I want you to remember things and talk to me about things.
I can't even keep my eyes open. That's never happened to me.
Little did Detective Melinda realize that getting any information from this suspect was going to be the most challenging thing he had to do in his career. But it doesn't stop him from using the oldest trick in the book to make Julian talk.
Were you guys arguing? Were you fighting? Or what are you sorry for? So let's go back to, you pulled a gun out of your pocket, right? No. No? So everything you've told officers that is on camera, now you're saying you don't remember. I don't. But here's the thing, Julian. You've already said what happened. Said in the situation. What did I do? No. You said what happened. The officers have already told us. Is she okay? Do you want to know if she's okay from what? Oh, that's obvious. What? What's obvious? Well, what happened? You tell me. I love her every day. What's been going on? Like, is she doubting how much you love her? Did you get caught doing something you weren't supposed to be doing? No. It's nothing like that. Do you guys just have arguments here and there?
Julian might not remember this too, but there are plenty of people who can speak about his abuse of people weaker than him. At this point, Detective Melinda barely holds himself together. For him, getting any meaningful information out of Julian is almost impossible. However, there is still one more thing Detective Melinda can use to make Julian talk. In fact, what he doesn't know is that his kids are in the same building with him, just above this interrogation room. They were brought here to the police station to decide their father's fate. And they're about to reveal exactly what went down mere hours earlier. But before we get to that, I want to talk about a murder that happened across the country in Cedar Creek, California. This is a popular influencer, Haley Rose, and Haley was mysteriously murdered. With Cold Case VR, the sponsor of today's video, use over 75 pieces of evidence, including police reports, witness statements, CCTV footage, interrogations, and so much more to bring justice to Haley and arrest her evil killer. Even better is that the entire investigation is done using their virtual reality goggles, making the experience like no other true crime party game. You know how much my videos depend on the clues found in the surveillance, and this game feels just like solving a real crime. I played this game with my friends, and using my investigative knowledge from producing all of these YouTube videos, I cracked the case and solved the murder before anyone else. And the best part? I managed to strike a deal just for you guys. By using the code INSANITY, you get 30% off your purchase, making this the perfect Christmas gift. So if you ever wanted to experience what it's like to solve the cases in my videos firsthand, we're about to expose him and what exactly went down that night. However, interrogating a child is no easy task for cops. That's why the police department recruited 2 professional child psychologists to discover more details of Julian's murder attempt from these 4 young minds. Still, kids may be uneducated, but they won't tell you anything unless you become their friend. And these female psychologists knew exactly how to do it. In 1.5 hours, they will build trust with all 4 kids. 4-year-old Julian, 5-year-old Benjamin, 6-year-old Matthew, and 10-year-old Isaiah. And talk about how daddy, their own mommy. Not even realizing they will maximize their father's sentence behind bars.
It was an ad. It was an ad for like a murder
Benjamin
mystery.
was the first kid to be asked about what he saw that fateful evening.
Do you like to color? Yeah. Yeah? Here, I got some paper right here. You want me to move it closer? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to write your name. And your name is Benjamin. Is that right? Yeah. Benjamin Valenzuela. Benjamin Valenzuela? Yeah? How old are you, Benjamin? 5. You're 5? Benjamin, I'm going to draw your face right here, okay? No. Do you play with anybody? Do you have any brothers or sisters or something else? Brother. You have brothers? So I'm going to put Matthew. Valenzuela. Matthew Valenzuela. And then Isaiah. Valenzuela. Isaiah Valenzuela. Yeah.
Drawing their faces, writing down the names of their siblings, and asking about their favorite things, all minor but important things to elicit positive emotions in Benjamin's mind. That is, until they start talking about their father and what he did to Jasmine.
Tell me about, Mommy or daddy or somebody else?
My mom. My dad is bad now.
Your dad is bad now? Tell me about dad being bad now.
My dad shot my mom.
Your dad shot your mom? And then what happened?
And my mom, they got.
Okay, obviously no diss to their profession because obviously they're doing very important work. But just like obviously when you're a kid, you hear that voice and you're like, oh wow, like they really care. They're paying attention to me. But hearing it as an adult, I'm just like, oh my God, how can you hear this and like just like sound happy? Because you have to keep that positive, happy emotion. Like nothing's wrong, everything's okay. You can tell me. It's tough, bro.
No weapon.
Mom don't got no weapons? And then you said dad is bad now because he shot mom?
Yeah.
Yeah? What did you...
Say his name.
Don't put his name?
Hey.
Okay, I won't put his name.
Okay.
Where did mom get shot?
On the stomach everywhere.
On the stomach everywhere? What did he shoot mom with?
With his pistol.
With his pistol? What did the pistol look like?
AK-47.
AK-47?
Oh, an AK-47.
I was at the living room. I saw Daddy shot Mom.
You were at the living room and you saw Daddy shot Mom? What did Daddy say when he shot Mom?
He was just cutting and yelling, and my dad just shot Mom.
Well, thank you for telling me what happened to Mom.
Despite Benjamin being a well-spoken kid, his mind might be a little confused. Because, well, there's no such thing as an AK-47 pistol. This may be a child's imagination, but how does he know what an AK-47 is? Was it something his dad talked about, or even owned at one point? For young Benjamin, it didn't matter. He was too afraid to remember.
Benjamin, tell me, do you ever feel scared? When do you feel scared?
Of the shot.
Of the shot?
Yeah.
No one was fighting?
No. Only my dad was fighting, and then he shot him with this one, and he shot with this one, and then loaded up, and then boom.
He shot it with this one and loaded up, and then boom, shot him?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Benjamin, tell me, do you feel safe with Mommy? Yeah? How about with Daddy? Do you feel safe with Daddy?
No.
No.
No, because Daddy shot my mom earlier.
Okay. Well, thank you, Benjamin, for letting me learn about you. You want to go back into the other room and play?
Yeah.
Yeah? What are you playing in the other room?
Tony.
Who are you playing with?
With Matthew and Isaiah.
Okay.
As Benjamin leaves the room, the psychologist returns to prepare the room for the next kid, 4-year-old Julian. They follow the same steps to establish a positive connection before moving on to the most important part of this conversation.
Julian, tell me about a mommy or a daddy or something else.
Draw Daddy, actually.
Draw Daddy?
Daddy's really big.
Daddy's really big?
Yeah. He has a big stomach.
Daddy has a big stomach?
Yeah.
So I'll
That's why Daddy my mom was on the floor in the kitchen, and Daddy had a gun, and he
Bro, shut up. Pizzle.
So you said last night that Daddy Mom?
Yeah, right here.
So Mom right here and right here and right here?
Yeah, and Mom's in the hospital now.
And Mom's in the hospital now?
Yeah.
So far, Julian's story of what happened sounds similar to what his brother Benjamin told. Still, there is something Julian told so suddenly that it even surprised the psychologist.
Dad comes and the cops come and there's 4 cops and there's the gangsters.
There's the gangsters there?
Yeah.
Who are the gangsters?
For shooting.
Do you know the gangsters?
Yeah.
What are their names, the gangsters?
Ryan and Dagger.
It's hard to assess if it's the kid's imagination or if his father hung out with criminals in their own house. The thing is, little Julian remembers their name. So it might be the case that those gangsters not only knew his father, but also provided him with the guns, including the AK and a shotgun. Now it's up to the psychologist to get to the bottom of this disturbing information.
Tell me, what did Dad shoot Mom with?
With the gun.
With the gun?
Mom was messing with Daddy.
Mom was messing with Daddy?
She was yelling at him, and now he's right here.
What was she saying when she was yelling at him? She said, okay. You said that Dad shot Mom and that she was laying on the floor in the kitchen?
And he shot her 4 times, 3 times.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to talk about today?
Yeah.
Yeah? Tell me.
Me and Matthew were fighting.
You and Matthew were fighting?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Playing to the TV, and when Mary was playing Gossip Donald and the little TV.
On the little TV?
Yeah, I spawned it in the TV, but when Mary was playing Gossip Donald. There's Franklin and Trevor and Michael.
Are they real people? Are they people in the game or something else? In the game. Okay.
The psychologist can rest easy. Those gangsters are just part of the game. Still, it is neglectful of parents to let their kids play these games at such a young age. With this conversation over, the psychologist invited the third kid, 6-year-old Matthew.
People who are... people who give children this little GTA or anything kind of like very violent with guns and shit. I don't think it's ever appropriate to show a kid a gun. I don't think it's appropriate. They don't understand. I need to not curse in front of kids, man. If they retain this much, bro, they're sponges. They soak up everything. And the fact that they're like privy to like adult shit, like they can't comprehend what is real and what isn't. And so they see a gun, they want to use it because they see it in a video game. They don't think about they can't think. They're children, bro. And any adult who like allows that behavior to happen is fucked up, bro. Should not have kids.
However, Matthew has nothing else to add and shared the same story his 2 other siblings told the psychologist, especially going over the same murder weapon and insults both yelled at each other.
Exactly.
With this, Matthew leaves the room, and the next and final kid enters, Julian's oldest son, and, well, most important for this investigation, 10-year-old Isaiah. Since he's much older than his brothers, he possesses a better awareness of the situation, meaning he could provide clearer details about the crime. And the psychologist understands that, which is why she's going to try a different approach with him.
Do you have any questions about that? No. No? Okay. Well, just so you know, no friends or family or anything like that get to listen while we talk, okay? All right. You feeling okay? All right. Well, if at any time you need to take a break or you just need a second, let me know, okay?
Meet the
With this mature approach, Isaiah doesn't tell much to the psychologist, except one crucial detail. The shooting was a climax, and Isaiah saw the build-up to the shooting long before anyone else.
Isaiah, have there been times when you heard fighting or arguing or something else at home? Tell me about that.
She was just arguing about my mom. And then yesterday he pulled up my mom's work and just threw a bottle on the floor in front of my mom's work.
Is that something that you heard about or something you saw or something?
I heard when she was on the phone telling someone.
Okay. Isaiah, when was it that he hit your mom? Today.
With Isaiah's last story shared, the interrogation can be wrapped up and summarized. The detectives now know that Julian has a long history of abusing his wife with intent and even desire to kill her, and nothing could have stopped him, even his own kids. And finally, the shooting of their own mother right before their eyes. Now the detective can use this information to corner Julian, confront him, and force him to make a confession. So they would bring him right back to the room where they started their discussions.
You don't remember your wife?
I don't remember that.
Because your kids do. Your kids are telling us, Daddy shot mama. That's what your kids are saying. But you're gonna sit here and play this crap that I don't remember anything when you've already said it to the other officers? And I got multiple kids, your kids, saying daddy, mommy? And you're gonna sit here and play this game that I don't remember anything. I can't see, I don't remember anything.
The kids went wrong.
Then why are they saying daddy, mommy?
No.
You don't know why they're saying that?
No.
Let me guess, your wife is making them say that, right? Is that the route you want to go on?
I don't know.
You know what I find funny, Julian? Or not funny, but disheartening? You've yet to ask me how your wife is doing, whether she's alive or not.
I love her.
Apparently not that much, but you...
I don't remember doing that.
You don't remember doing that?
No.
Tired of hearing the same excuse over and over again, Detective Melinda takes his gloves off and delivers a satisfying beatdown to Julian's poor excuses.
But you know who's going to remember that forever?
Description?
Her and your kids. Because daddy got mommy. And then when they figure all this out and find out daddy didn't have the courage to be honest about what happened. He sat there and said, oh, I've been drinking for 4 days, I don't remember anything. That's what you want people to remember you as?
I remember begging her on my phone.
Begging her what?
Begging to be with her.
She didn't want to be with you?
I don't know. Go off the phone.
Julian, let me ask you a question.
I can't breathe.
Hey, let me ask you a specific question. You remember there's beer in the car?
There's a lot of beer.
Do you remember that there's beer in the car?
I remember there's a lot of beer.
Okay, but you don't remember your wife?
No.
So beer's more important than your wife?
I don't want to know what's going on. I want to know if she's okay.
I'm waiting to hear back from El Paso to see if she's okay or if... I don't know if she's even alive right now, dude. I'm trying to find all that out. But I can't even get you to tell me what happened.
All I remember is going inside the house, and that was it.
Okay.
From there, everything's a blur. All drunk, and I'm still drunk.
Hey, that's not what you said to the officers earlier. That's on camera.
That's because I was drunk. And when you're drunk, you say stupid things.
God, he's a fucking idiot.
I wanted the cops to kill me.
How? How was that going to happen?
I wanted them to kill me.
How? Why?
I don't know.
Cops don't just shoot people for no reason. Why would they have shot you? Did they shoot at you tonight? What do you think?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
After using his own words against him, getting verbally beaten down by the detective, and even bringing up his kids, Julian still refuses to remember anything prior to this interrogation. This makes things even worse for him. If he doesn't talk now, the cops will write down their own version of the story that will be used to prosecute him if Julian does not comply. All Julian needs is to talk.
That's what I'm going to put on my paperwork.
Okay.
When I charge you with attempted murder, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and all the other charges that go along with this, my final statement in that paperwork is going to say, I don't remember, I was drunk for 4 days. That's what you want me to put in the paperwork?
Okay.
Is that what you want me to put?
I want you to put that because I don't remember.
But I'm also going to put in there,
Hell yeah,
during
he's so
earlier
right.
contact on camera, he stated this, that he did shoot his wife, that he did do this when officers stopped him. Because that's all stuff I can prove, Julian.
Okay.
So when hopefully your wife survives, and when I talk to her, I'll tell her what you just said.
Piece of shit.
I love her.
No, but that's what you're telling. I'm telling her what you tell me.
Tell her that I love her so much.
No.
If I knew what was going on, and I knew the severity of my charges, I would be crying my ass off.
I don't think so, dude. I think we're wasting our time. I mean, you can't even man up to what you did.
With this interrogation finally done, Julian is returned back to his cell where he would spend hours wondering why he ultimately left all his 4 children without their mother. Little did he realize, Jasmine survived.
Damn.
3 days after the shooting, Jasmine finally opened her eyes. She had gone through an operation that saved her life, and the officers made sure to visit immediately, not only to check on her, but also to finally hear her side of this twisted case.
Okay, Jasmine, I'm Detective Winter. This is Detective Zelo. We've been checking up on you. They told me that you're able to kind of talk what has happened.
I was telling him that you and he walks right in the front.
And who is he? And what is Julian to you?
Kid's daughter.
With this statement alone, it will be much easier for the cops to make Julian pay for his crimes. Even if Julian doesn't remember anything, Jasmine's phone recorded everything he had said to her.
What do you think? What sparked?
Because I didn't want to be in the
Okay. Was that a verbal conversation you had, or what happened?
whole time. He lied to me.
Uh-huh.
He said he was going to come home and actually.
Uh-huh.
So I waited for him.
Okay. And your text messages with him, any threats or anything said over the phone? What were those?
Not all the messages.
Other than the text messages, was there any phone conversation?
Yeah.
What did that?
Hoping you to do what you need to do.
Did he threaten you on the phone before that? What did he say?
What he needs to do is stop what he needs to do.
What do you think that meant? Did he ever mention or threaten you before?
Yeah. Every time I say I don't want to do things, to threaten me.
Uh-huh. And then next thing you know, he's there at the house. Okay. And then you're in the kitchen. He walks in. Does he say anything to you?
Says I think I'm playing.
Mm-hmm. So what do you say?
So what are you doing?
I know. Imagine. You lived to
Okay,
tell
where
the
are the
story.
kids at this time?
They were in the room.
In the room?
When they heard the shot, they came running out to see if I was okay.
Uh-huh. Had you ever seen him with a gun before?
Yeah.
What type of gun?
380.
One can only imagine what horrors Jasmine and her kids had to endure, but in the end, she can finally rest, knowing well that her abuser was finally arrested and will never be able to hurt her again. And what she would tell the officer now will make sure Julian will be gone for a long time.
We did arrest him. He's in jail right now, and we're going to work to keep him. You want to press charges? Well, we're going for him. So I did, based on the information that we had, is essentially attempted murder on you. Because all the kids were there, I charged him as well. Obviously, he was drinking, so the DWI, the aggravated assault on the officer, and then the resist. He's had like 9 or 10 charges on him.
This final statement from Jasmine will be the one to seal Julian's fate come court time. But before Julian's court trial, an internal investigation was conducted on Officer Dollar's decision to use a canine in the arrest. The witnesses were questioned, with Officer Dollar being interrogated separately. In the end, Officer Dollar was found guilty of using excessive force during the arrest. The city of Las Cruces had to pay Julian Valenzuela, the victim of canine mauling, $30,000.
No!
However, no money in the world could save Julian from the punishment for his
that money
crime.
better go to his kids,
After
bro.
viciously attempting to murder his wife and rob his kids of their mother, his trial date finally arrived, and he stood in court to answer for his crime. In November of 2022, Julian Valenzuela, a 34-year-old shooter, accepted a plea deal and was sentenced to a maximum sentence of 10 years, followed by 2 years of parole for his
not
wife
his girl.
and at police officers. The city
Not
of Las
anymore.
Cruces also paid him $30,000 after a canine mauled him during the
10
arrest
years in
on March
prison?
4th.
10 years in prison? That's not enough, bro. All right. We're done with the doomer shit. Let me Wow, that's crazy. From kid heroes to asteroid and murder. It's life, bro. It happens. I mean, obviously you shouldn't drown yourself in all that shit, but like it happens. It's happening currently right now. There's people committing murder. But we're gonna go away from that for a second. You know what else happens? Wins, good stuff. True. I think we do focus on all the bad stuff sometimes. God, now look at my freaking algorithm. I want to play this game. I seriously want to play this game. Let me look at Reels, shorts.
Did you really think that by threatening to sue me that you'd actually shut me up? One of the largest corporations and retailers in America is not only selling a dupe of my patented pirouette score, I am now being threatened with a lawsuit for speaking up about it when they are the ones infringing my patent. This corporation is listed on the New York Stock Exchange. They are worth $4 billion. They've got 54,000 employees. They operate 351 stores, and there's probably one at your local mall. Here are the dupes. They didn't even bother to...
Bruh.
Only wondering what a middle-aged guy is doing in a 5-star ad. My team has analyzed hundreds of trends and discovered something mind-blowing, that every fad ends the same way. With uncles. When uncles join a trend, the youth instantly lose interest in it. It happened to social media platforms, skinny jeans, YOLO, and many others. But it hasn't happened to the worst trend of all, Valentine's Day. So uncles, it's time to take one for the team.
This Valentine's Day, 5-Star will spend its entire marketing budget on the only people who can end it. We'll pay uncles to hit the streets, flood the internet, and go on dates.
I definitely have like grandma behavior.
Until everyone else feels out of place. So recruit an uncle for this historic mission. Enjoy your commission and sit back and enjoy what's probably the last Valentine's Day ever. Doing nothing. Join us on DestroyValentine'sDay.com.
Yo, that's funny. Bro, my algorithm is fucked. We gotta fix it. Oh my god. Lulu's the litter. What? Oh, what is this? The kids, not the kids, bro. That's cute. Not the kid with the baby. I mean, the kid with the baby. I mean, hopefully it wasn't too hot in that. That looks crazy. What? Good morning, Potato Fairy. What is this? Oh! He didn't like the water. Oh no, he's stuck. You thought the frog was gonna be eaten? What? Yeah, because of the spoon. He doesn't like the water. Oh shit, he's running. He's fast. What is he doing? Is he cleaning himself? This is interesting. A frog's normal behavior. We should do this too. Yo! Hey! Get off of my computer. There's more than one! Oh, look at the booty! Oh my god, the little butt. The little butt. It's so squishy. Whoa. Booty. Who knew frogs had booties? Cheeked up.
If she does not eat, she will not live. It's that simple.
No,
This
I don't
is
want
the
frog
most
content. I don't like frogs. Ooh.
I'm not TP.
Frog gussy? Ew. I know, frogs are not safe from him. He's a danger to society. Pay attention, world. Wow. It's a lot of work. Real brick? This will have mercy upon the next creature you see. That's funny. Oh wow. Beautiful. Beautiful tiling. BDSM! We're watching a hamster get a kitchen. on vacay. Hell yeah. Have a great time.
구독과 좋아요는 저에게 좋고 알람은 여러분에게 좋습니다.
좋습니다. Oh my gosh, ramen. Yummy. Oh. Oh. Delicious, delicious seeds. Oh. Oh, oh. What a meal. Oh. He came home! He's here! A miniature kitchen? Fizzle really does not like this kind of content. Fizzle, where you at? Fizzle doesn't like rodents. The little beady eyes is his weakness. Such a good, polite little hamster. It's adorable. Had a good meal. Wow. Where are you vacationing, BDSN? Lurking in the void? Probably very upset that we're watching this. What do we have? Toilet paper? To clean the vegetables. Ooh. Wow. It's so teeny tiny. Oh yeah, the blowtorch, just, you know, just because. They fancy with that. Yo, this oven works! In Dubai? Ooh! Wait, you know what you should try? I'm gonna look it up. But you should try those chocolates with the pistachio and like the... It's like a straw-looking thing. Or like hay, or I don't know what it is. Should've used flint and stones, actually. True. It was almost cheating. Or a match. Ooh, this looks good. This is all for a freaking hamster. I forget what those desserts are, BDSN, but they have them in Dubai. I'll show you a quick... Yeah, I'm literally gonna look it up. Oats? Wow. The plating, 10 out of 10. Hamburger pasta. It's enjoying the food. It's so cute. Oh, it likes the pasta. Look at its little tiny hands. Oh, the drink. Ah. Mukbang with my hamster. Never feel alone again. damn sure that hamster can't eat regular grain anymore. It's like, nah, you've shown me the good life. I will only eat my food carbonara pasta style. That's crazy. Hold on, I wanna look up the Dubai chocolate. This is what I'm talking about. But let me find like a good like. What is this? Oh yes, this. It wants Wagyu and the best possible truffles every day. I know. I want to find a good video. Let's see. You just ate that like 2 days ago?
Let's try the viral Dubai chocolate bars. I have been waiting for this. These chocolate bars have been all over my For You page for months. Really excited.
You can order them?
I got a box of 6 of them. We have the famous Can't Get Enough of It, which I'm really excited for. Mind Your Own Biscoff, Curiously Chewy, Butter to Be Safe Than Salty, and Pick Up a Pretzel. I feel like we have to go with the Can't Get Enough of It. This is the most famous one. I really hope it doesn't let me down. Wow. It looks just like it does in the videos. Whoa.
Wait, hold on. Does this place have no description has been added? Where's the place?
That is just as good as everybody makes it seem. Get the sweetness from the chocolate, the crunchiness from the phyllo dough, and then saltiness from the pistachio. That is so good. Wow. Come try this. Right? No. I was nervous. That wasn't going to live up to the hype. And it does. Let me know which one we should try next.
$37. What? Who hearted this? Wait, how do you convert? How do you... Ferrero Rocher is better? Really? How much is this? Oh my god. 1 bar is $18. So this, oh my gosh, a box of 6 flavors. The same one that she got is $104? $104 for 6 flavors for 6 bars. That's expensive. No way. This bitch, I mean, sorry. She spent $104 for, and then shipping. And they, yeah, I would not expect them to be cheap in the, like, if they cost that much, like, damn. Oh my gosh, what is this? True, again, make it at home. Why are these captions in French? Why are they in French? There's no English options? That's interesting. Oh my god, it's crying. Yes! Toddler and air horn. Honestly, just sounds like a squeaky door. Honestly, I have a squeaky door in my car anyway. What are you synthesizing? Such a complex vocabulary for an art. How many does this person have? An air horn is accurate. I would be upset too if my food took 9. Oh my gosh. It's a baby. You can't leave them alone in the room with that. Bro, I want to skip to the part where they get to eat. Imagine having to take care of 2 toddlers and 2 of these otters at the same time. Absolutely not. I have enough with my cat. You know what I'm saying? Having kids on top of that. It doesn't even want him. Lies. Oh, it is good. It's a little spice. Ooh. Wow. Okay, bye, Myth. Have a good one. So happy to have you here hanging out. Yeah, go to sleep. And study tomorrow. Study. Bye! And keep smiling! No problem. I'll tell Fizzle. Bye! So crispy. Such a cutie. Cass. Bro, I wanted that food fresh. It said nah. What? Okay, I'm gonna go get some, what time is it? I'm gonna go get some lunch. I'll be right back. I'm here. Bro, what is all that butter doing? I'm here. I had to poop. Also, I don't know what to eat.
What kind of place is this?
Tara Lauren needs to lick your face.